And hello everyone, I am Relic Jones here, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a character and play the game Rehuman. First of all, let's go ahead and roll out our stats. This is going to help us think and determine about what race and class we would want to go ahead and play. So let's go ahead and dive into it. It is found on the second page of our little booklet here, the rules on how to determine stats. I would suggest Dungeon Masters to print up pages 2 and 3 on a double-sided sheet of paper to hand to their players, because that's going to give them an understanding of their stats and attributes of the stats, and also actions they can take within combat. So let's go ahead and roll for our stats, shall we? So in the game Rehuman, our stats are going to help us deal with checks to see if we're going to succeed or fail on certain abilities, and also it's going to help us with damage and even HP. So let's go ahead and roll for our strength stat. So within the rules, it's going to tell you to go ahead and pick 3 6-sided dice and to roll them as is. Then we're going to add them. Unlike in D&D or other role-playing games, there is not a 4th dice to drop the lowest. So what you roll is what you're going to get. In this, I got an 11. You can write them down on a different piece of paper and then put them into whatever skill that you want. I'm, for simplicity's sake, just going to write them as is and see what character develops. So we got an 11 in our strength. Then we're going to go for vitality. Here, it looks like we got an 11 again. Roll for marksmanship. Ooh, that looks good. That's a 15. Roll for technology. So how good are you with technology? And we got ourselves a 9. Diplomacy, 13. And our covertness, that's going to be our dumb stat, is a 7. Yes, if you roll 3 1s, that will be your dumb stat. So let's just go with that. So you can see here, we've already generated our stats. Now it says as the next part of the rule that you're going to allocate these stat points between each of the attribute skills, which are found directly below. Skills, and these are the attributes. So if I have an 11 in strength, I have 11 points to put in either athletics, survival, or melee. Well, athletic checks are going to be rather common, so maybe I'll go ahead and make that a 4. Maybe I don't think we're going to do much survival out in the wilderness. It's a sci-fi game. Maybe we're going to just stay in the city, so maybe I'll go ahead and make that a 2. That means I have 5 points left, and I'm going to put 5 in melee, because maybe I'm going to make more of a melee build. Then we do this for all the other ones. Do you want higher willpower? Well, you put more points in it. Yes, you can put all your points into one stat. Maybe I want to just be extremely full of HP. I could put in vitality, I can make this an 11 in health. But then the Dungeon Master can use this against me and make me roll more will checks. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe go with a 3 in luck, which the Dungeon Master can use for anything. He can say, yeah, go ahead and roll a luck chance to see if it's better. Or add your luck too. It can apply, but yet again, at the Dungeon Master's discretion. So if we got that, that leaves us with, what, 5? 5 for health. Marksmanship. And again, this is a combat-heavy game with a lot of gun-based combat. So you're going to want a really good accuracy to help you pinpoint and succeed on those hit-to-hit rolls. So I'm going to go ahead and make this an 8. Perception. Maybe I want my guy to be dumb and doesn't notice much. Maybe I'll even make my perception a 0. Now again, my Dungeon Master may penalize me with that, but hopefully the rest of my team will cover my weakness. So we got that, so what, we got 7 left. Maybe I want 7 in Throne. Throne is a really good thing. You could have to throw a MacGuffin to a party member, or you could just get grenades. That's what helps with grenades accuracy. Okay, so let's go ahead. 3, 3, and 3. Technology. Use device will help you use, yet again, vehicles. It will even help you with dealing with animals if you use them as mount. Lore, I mean, your dungeon master will love it if you take lore. And then hacking, I mean, could be useful too, but I don't know if I'm going to use a class that wants to use hacking very much. Okay, we seem to have a lot of diplomacy. So let's go ahead and put that in 5 in social. Maybe I don't want to be the leader of the group. I don't want to be the face man. But persuasion, maybe. So let's go ahead and do thief. Maybe I want to be stealth. Now local might be interesting, but it's more like local knowledge. You go and get street smarts more than book smarts is how local knowledge works. But I'm going to go ahead and make that on, and maybe I want to make him a little bit good at thieving. And that is how you will go ahead and roll up your stats. Now that we have rolled for our stats, let's go ahead and pick our class. Go ahead and go to pages 6 and 7 of your handbook and pick between our 5 classes. I'm feeling like a socialite this time, so go ahead and write that on your page. So we picked the socialite class. So we're going to go ahead and just write down our class here on that little piece of information. Now the socialite is supposed to be like the celebrity. Think about the social media influencer or a pop star or something like that. You got a lot of fame and clout, and because of that you're going to gain a instant +3 to our social, making that go up to an 8, and our hacking, because you know you got to be good at tech if you want to be a socialite. Then we'll also go ahead and get one of our special ops, which we're going to find either on the back of your sheet or on your second sheet. This is one of the few classes where we get to pick one of 2 possible starting class abilities. Do I want to be a troll, which lets me do extra damage with your mama jokes and memes and stuff while I attack, or do I want to be more of a fan support, where I go and ask my fans online for some help, and it can give me an extra D6 on any of my party's skill checks? I think I'm going to be a team player this time. I'm going to go ahead and go get the fan support ability, which you can go ahead and write down on here. Its name and its ability and its spots. I'm just going to go ahead and write down the name for now. Next we need to go is find our race we want to play, the combo with our socialite. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and pick our race. Next we're going to go ahead and pick our race. Transhuman. From it we're going to get our movement speed of 30 feet. We're going to get a stat increase to our tech, which we already wrote down, making our 9 to a 14. I'm going to throw that all into use device. Our HP is going to be a D6 plus our use device ability, which you're always going to make it the maximum roll for a level 1. So that's going to make it an equal of 13 once we increase use device via our ability. We're going ahead and go get ourselves this race's special op. And its special op is called Transhuman Port, which lets me pick any other special ability long as I meet the requirements, even that of races. If it would have a strength requirement, you have to meet the strength requirement. So we're going to go ahead and dip into the Night Loft and take their essentially their night sight ability so we can see in the dark. And there we go. That's what you do when you pick a... And that is essentially it. We have made ourselves a Rehuman character. You may note armor and weapons. Starting loadout, discuss this with your GM. He might be fine with you starting out with a rocket launcher where he only wants you to have some sort of handgun. Maybe he'll let you use that really awesome armor with shielding. Or maybe he wants you to pick something that has an armor point of like 10 or below. I would suggest for Dungeon Masters to make sure that they have to earn anything that gives a damage reduction or a damage point or damage shield point upgrade. But this is a playable character. Now, if you would want to level up, which is at the Dungeon Master's discretion, we're thinking about having it more like milestones, if you will, where in between each game you can level up. It'll be as simple as rolling your dice for your HP for your race, and also picking another special op in which your character can have. So let's go ahead and walk through that, shall we? Your roll this time, we'll add a 4, so we'll go up from a 13 to a 17. And then we'll go ahead and find ourselves a good special op that we want to do for our socialite. So let's go ahead and see what we can pick here from all 30 plus that we have. Do we really want to make it a selfie where it's going to make people want to attack you because that's really annoying? Or maybe something simple as, let's go ahead and pick Technophile. This is going to give us a +3 to our technology stat again. It's just going to buff that up even though we weren't the best in it. Maybe we'll throw it on to use device. So we can boost up our HP again to a whopping 20. But there's all sorts of different abilities and combinations. You can pick different weapons that you want that can fit your theme real nice, but that is pretty much how to build a rehuman. Now, if you're staying around, I think that you're interested in our particular game, Rehuman. Bing! You can get some extra bonuses for it via our Patreon, and I don't think a lot of it's locked behind any walls. You can get character sheets and some basic rules to help you, or help us playtest the game. If you want to see this game in action, you can actually see our Halo campaign setting that is in a playlist on our channel. And you will be, if you subscribe, you will be the first to know when this goes live on Amazon, both with a PDF and a physical copy. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll stick around to see what Rehuman has to offer.